All righty. Welcome back to the Angry Hacks podcast. This is Nunzi. And with me, I got Stan the Man. What's going on, brother?
Not much. Pretty miserable Monday after that football Sunday.
It is a miserable Monday, and I think that's why we wanted to come back to kind of debrief after this rough New York Giants Week 1 loss to the Dallas Cowboys, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I hate the Cowboys-Giants Week 1, and it's a big game to start the season coming out of preseason, which preseason doesn't matter, but watching this game, I think the Giants didn't prepare well, almost like it was a preseason game.
I know. And you know what really frustrates me, my man, is how excited we were for this season, knowing that we had a team that went 10-6 last year, made the playoffs, and we thought that this year was going to be a step up even from last year. And just to see how they came out in Week 1 with the same old shit, dude. The offensive line is terrible. The run game is terrible. It's just it's the same old song and dance, you know?
Yeah, it's the same old song and dance. It's just a frustrating day. It was a frustrating night. You wait all day for game 1. You're watching all these other football games, which for the most part suck themselves. But however, you get to the night game, you're looking forward to watching your team, and they lay a freaking egg. I mean, the biggest egg you can lay. I mean, the fact that they got 3 points is a miracle. The Cowboys dominated the game. We made them look like their defense looked like the 85 Bears. Like, I stealing that one from you. I know you said that a bunch yesterday, but this is just a big kick in the nuts. It's a big kick in the fucking nuts.
Dude, it is. And you know how we are. We're such passionate New York fans, and we're so passionate about the New York Giants, obviously, that, something like this we get crazy about, which we should. But, I try to take some positives out of it. The game itself, there's no positives. You can't really dig something up that you can be going forward, be like, all right, what I'm kind of thinking positively is just the long-term season. There's still plenty of games left, and our defense still looks quite formidable. The only problem I had was yesterday's game. The line of scrimmage was lost. We lost the battle of the line of scrimmage. And as much as our defensive line has been a strength for us in many years, the Cowboys beat us on the defensive line. They did. They had a better defensive push than we did. Now, granted, their offensive line's a lot better than ours. We know that. But still, I feel like our pressure wasn't where it has been, and especially against them last year when we played them and beat them twice last year. Our defensive line push was excellent in those 2 games. And we did kind of get a little pressure here and there yesterday, but it wasn't up to par. It wasn't up to snuff, man. What do you think about that?
No, it wasn't up to snuff. I mean, we definitely lost at the line of scrimmage. Coming into the year, our biggest weakness last year was the offensive line. And coming into this year, we added no one. We added DJ Fluker. Did he even see the field last night?
Don't think so.
How do you expect to just get better on the line? You don't get better. They didn't do anything different. They added Brandon Marshall, which I thought was a good move. They added Rhett Ellison, which I thought was a good move. Drafting Evan Ingram, I thought could have been good. They did a few things, but the one need that we really needed was the offensive line. And I know that they kept talking about it last night. They signed Brandon Marshall for games that we don't have with Odell, that we can survive in those games. But you know what? One, Marshall didn't do anything, but it doesn't matter. The line of scrimmage is where it's all at. Our defense played okay, but they still beat us. Their offensive line beat our defensive line, and their defensive line destroyed our offensive line.
Destroyed. And you just segued me into, the biggest problem we have, and it couples together, and that's the offensive line / the run game. And dude, our offensive line, in particular, our right tackle Bobby Hart got demolished. We looked like a bunch of high schoolers going against the best defensive line in the world. It was pathetic, dude. Pitiful performance by them. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Bobby Hart looked
Pitiful.
brutal out there. And,
It looked like he was playing in my black work shoes. Like he was slipping and sliding all over the place, getting sent backwards, just getting demolished.
Like last night. I mean, I thought that the guy coming into the game that we needed to worry about was Eric Flowers, and you know what? Only one time did I hear his name, which is good.
Yeah,
Because I think he committed one holding penalty, and I'm glad he held him because otherwise Eli would have been dead. Because the pressure on Eli's moving around the whole game, and I'm not saying he didn't play well, but I don't think he feels comfortable. I know Jay had said this, or one of our other hacks had mentioned that he just felt like so uncomfortable. He's moving up out of the pocket. He's moving out of the pocket. He's dancing around back there because he just doesn't feel comfortable and safe because they are not giving him any time. Even on our big plays, Roger Lewis, 20 yards or a little. We only had 2 plays over 20 yards, and on both of those, Eli had to move to make a play. Like he never was able to sit back there for any amount of time.
Yep. And, with that comes the running game, man. You want to hear how putrid the running game was yesterday? Okay. We had only 12 carries all game, 12 carries. Our highest rusher was Perkins with 16. Now he carried the ball 7 times for 16 yards. That's an average of 2.3 yards.
Yeah,
I mean,
his longest rush was only 3 yards.
That's scary. I mean, we didn't, you know what? I had some decent hopes for him this year getting the starting role. And you know what? He's still young. We don't know what he brings yet, but they are not utilizing this run game effectively like the way they should do. And I think it really has the problem is because of this offensive line too. I feel like they're like confused about how to run the ball. Don't you feel that way?
Yeah, I 100% feel that way. I mean, this is 2 years of the same baloney. I mean, I don't think it matters if we have freaking, Walter Payton back there. Like, there's nothing. Like, yeah, I'm obviously be better, but I still don't think there'd be enough. 7 carries for 16 yards for Perkins. The only rushing play that had anything was Darkwah's first play where he ran for 12 yards. And I got excited like he ran for 80 yards, but it was only 12.
Yep.
The comparison is watching Ezekiel Elliott touch the ball every time, breaking tackles, every play he got. I feel like Perkins' longest rush was 3 yards. I think Elliott's shortest rush was 3 yards.
Probably. I mean, and Elliott, he carried the ball for 24 carries for over 100 yards, and his long was only 10 yards, but I feel like he kept getting those 10 yards. And I think he was stretching those 6 yards where we should have tackled him into 10-yard plays. And that's the difference right there. I mean, you go back and watch this game and watch how good their offensive line is. They create holes. They create the perfect holes where Ezekiel can slip through the defense and then carry our guys for another 3 or 4 yards. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
It's crazy. Like, there was a few times where he gets hit by the first guy who maybe slows him down a little, but then he gets past the next guy and it takes like 3 or 4 guys to tackle him every freaking time. And our defense is pretty solid. And we got Snacks Harrison in there who had a couple of plays yesterday that I thought were good plays, but no one out there impressed me. You're looking for bright spots. I got like bright plays. That's it.
Right.
I got the Darkwah 12-yard rush. That's the best offensive play we had. Maybe the Roger Lewis play. And then Eli Apple deflecting a pass. Like that's brutal. That's what I'm looking for is the bright spots. That's fucking brutal.
It's gross. And you know what? The Cowboys offensive numbers, didn't spark you. I mean, we played very good defensively, and I'm very positively, thinking in the right direction with that defense for the rest of the season if we can stay healthy. But they were on the field just way too long, especially in the first half where we couldn't put any type of drive together. I think we had like 2 first downs, So the defense was on the field for a very long time. And I mean, dude, you got to you understand this. Being on the field, running around, tackling guys, dude, that takes a toll on your body, man. And they were just shot after the first half.
They were shot after the first half. I don't. You said 2 first downs, which that could be right. I don't think they got past the 35-yard line in our own 35 in the first half. So every time our defense was on the field, we're in our own zone because Wing, who's punting great, by the way. If you want to take a bright spot, I guess you could say Wing. But they're starting at their own 40 or in, like the 50-yard line, the 40-yard line. That's where the Cowboys are starting a lot of these drives. And our defense is just on the field, tired. No one, I mean, it was week 1. It looked like we hadn't had a bye week in 11 weeks.
I know. And you know what? The killer here for this offense too, and this still goes back to last year too. It's the play calling. Some of the plays that we were running is just it's what we saw last year, and last year it didn't work. They showed that stat. Our last 6 games, we didn't score over 20 points. That's awful.
Yeah, so now it's 7 in a row. I mean, it's funny. You look at Eli's numbers, like just his passing totals, 29 for 38. That's pretty solid. But when they're 1-yard freaking passes, it doesn't freaking help you. How many times on a 3rd and 4 or a 3rd and goal are we going to throw the ball where it doesn't reach the first down line or the end zone line?
It's such a pet peeve of ours. I know it is, because I mean, you don't gain anything from doing that. In certain situations, maybe you can gain field position, but dude, right. Go ahead. No, I think you're onto something. Go ahead.
No, you're right. But on fourth and goal, when you're looking for the goal line, there's no reason to not throw it in there. What are you going to make a 5? They made it 5 yards less for Aldrich Rosas, whatever his name is, on his first kick ever, which he made. Okay, maybe a bright spot. He's 1 for 1. Hasn't missed.
We're stretching here. I know we're stretching here.
I'm stretching. I'm looking for something good. This is just ridiculous. Where is the freaking sense of urgency?
Oh, please talk about that sense of urgency, because you started last time we were watching the game.
Well, you know what? You're in a game. It's the 3rd quarter. You're down a couple of scores. I think they're down, 16-3 in the 3rd quarter. It's the end of the 3rd quarter, and you have the 3rd quarter into the 4th quarter. I know it's not the end of the game, but where's the sense of urgency? When do you switch to the no huddle? Switch to the no huddle. Snap the ball before the end of the quarter. It's a free stoppage. It's like a free timeout. And then you can talk about the stuff at the break. It's like you have a timeout. You could set up a nice play the start of the 4th quarter. But I think the start of our 4th quarter, I think the next play was like a 1-yard freaking pass. Eli's looking. Well, everyone's being covered downfield. He's throwing these checkdowns.
Yeah.
That's like wasting a timeout, because it's like a free timeout, and they don't snap the ball. I just hate this is all NFL teams. Why is it that they only start to have the sense of urgency with like 5 minutes left in the game?
And it bothers me too, dude. I'm with you on that. And I'm glad you brought up the checkdowns, dude. Here's my look on this. I have 2 ways of looking at this. The first way is, okay, maybe nobody's open. Maybe nobody's open. When you see checkdowns after checkdown, which we did yesterday from Eli, maybe nobody's open. Okay, I'm fine with that. I'd have to go sit and look at tape, which, I'm not a coach and I don't have these tapes to kind of go through and mill through and look for something. But here's my other thing. We never, I feel like we never went to our first or second option, because we had to get the ball out quick because of this offensive line. So we immediately went to those checkdowns, those 3rd and 4th options. I feel like that's what Eli was thinking in his mind the whole time. We weren't even looking for the first or second option. He had to get the ball out so quickly that I think before they came out of the huddle, he thought in his mind, I got to get this ball out. So let's have my safety net, my checkdowns. So I'm ready to go. I hate that mentality, but it stems back to having that bad, pitiful offensive line. Don't you believe that?
Yeah, it's all to that. It's not like you said. He's not looking the first option. Maybe they run a play for Shepard, and then he looks Marshall, and then he looks Ingram, and he's like, oh no, I got to throw a little pass to Perkins. Or
don't have that time.
It's like the fourth option. He's not throwing to
No,
the first or second or the third sometimes. He's throwing to like the fourth and fifth options.
I know. I know.
And
It's like when you're playing Madden and you're in the you're at the line and you look at the routes and you're like, "Oh, I'm going to take the screenplay every time. I'm going to take the check down every time." Hell no. You got to start throwing the ball down the field, man. McAdoo, we got to get some plays where we're getting the ball down the field. Eli's still got the arm. He's won in this league before. Like, let's get the ball down the field, man. I know this is not his offense, but something's got to change because last year it didn't work.
right, and you know what? Like Eli, I would have questioned if he had the arm still. I was questioning it because he didn't show it to us for a while. And then he threw that long, deep pass down the left sideline that wasn't a great pass. But I was like, oh, at least he can freaking throw the ball 30 yards. Because before this
Yeah.
play, I didn't know if he could or not. Because the most he threw was like a 7-yard slant route, which, by the way, every other team seems to connect on those, and we cannot catch them.
It's so bad. It's so
It's it,
bad.
it, Brandon Marshall had one catch last night for 10 yards. Might as well call it no catches for nothing.
That was like 6 seconds left in the game.
It's like 6 seconds left in the game. They finally get him involved. Maybe it's good. Maybe he could be like, okay, he gets a catch. Maybe it opens up the door for next week. But you know what? That's bullshit. That pass meant nothing. Vereen, who I actually like Shane Vereen,
Mm-hmm.
he came alive in that last drive. But the only reason why is because the Cowboys let them have those passes.
Yeah.
When do you even then? I was talking about urgency before. Technically, we're only down two touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions, so 2 scores if it breaks the right way. I know it's a freaking long shot, but even then, we never took the play downfield. We never tried to go downfield.
No. And we talked about, because we were on the Hangouts yesterday just watching together, which was great instead of texting. But we were saying this last couple minutes, guys, show us something. Show us something. We know it's a long shot to win this game. Show us something to build on for the next game. Show us something that we're going to sit in front of the TV next week and be like, all right, I know that they're ready now. It was just, it looked like we weren't prepared against Dallas. We were in their home stadium. They were fired up. We beat them last year. They beat us last year twice. So show us something to build on. And they didn't do it. They didn't
No,
do
they
it, right.
they didn't at all. They didn't at all. And you know what? I'll give Chris Collinsworth. I know we give Chris Collinsworth a hard time sometimes, but something we were saying all game. It did take him a little too long to say it, but at the end of the game, what Chris Collinsworth said about Odell being out there. We
Mm-hmm.
know that he's hurt. We don't want him to be hurt longer than this. But he is out there before the game. He is running some routes. Maybe it hurts a little, but maybe just bring him out there for a decoy. Because there was one play when we had that second and third and goal where Marshall looked like he had one-on-one coverage, but one of the guys was able to hang back and it was double coverage, so Eli couldn't throw to him.
Yes.
Let me
Yep.
tell you, if Odell is out there in that situation, even if that was the only drive he played on, I'm just saying Marshall would have had the one-on-one coverage, and that's why we have him, because he's that big body that should be able to catch balls on one-on-one coverage.
Right. And like you said, man, just using him as a decoy could mean wonders. Now I'm not saying that they would have won the game, but it could change the dynamic of the game in certain aspects, just him being a decoy out there.
Yeah, I know it's been done before. I know I think it happened with Julio Jones last year. I've seen it with AJ Green. I think it's happened with Odell too. But like, I think, I mean, was he really that banged up he couldn't go out there? Maybe. I know they're looking out for the future. I know it's week one, and I guess that's the biggest thing. All right, you know what the biggest positive for me is in this game?
Go ahead.
The fact that we got our asses kicked, and the fact that we came into the season thinking we are a potential playoff team. You know what? After week one, we have to freaking regroup. We should light a fire under our asses, because right now, the way we're playing, we are not a playoff team. So work your
Mm-mm.
asses off and get back to that mentality where you need to earn it. Earn it now. It's not just given. You need to earn it. Just because you made the playoffs last year doesn't mean shit. You have to do it again this year. It's a new freaking season.
Yeah, you bring up a great point, man. And, coming into this season, you would think the coaching staff and the organization would kind of look at what our weaknesses are. And we all know as New York Giants fans what our weaknesses were, and that's that offensive line and that run game. Basically, the whole offense, because the passing game gets taken out because of a poor offensive line and a poor running game. So you come into this season, you do grab a guy named Brandon Marshall. You do draft a tight end in Evan Ingram. But to be honest with you, that wasn't our biggest weaknesses on the offensive side. It was run game and the offensive line, and they did nothing to help themselves out. So you come into this week 1 game, and it's like we just said, I keep beating a dead horse. We both keep beating a dead horse. It's the same old song and dance this year as it was last year. And it looked to me like they even regressed from last year's poor offensive performance. I mean, I don't know. It's pathetic.
Of course, dude. We only scored 3 freaking points. 3 measly points. The team that got freaking rained out almost scored more. That got hurricaned out almost scored more points than us. They didn't even play.
Didn't even play.
It's ridiculous. You mentioned McAdoo before. You mentioned it's got to be some of it's the play calling. I 100% agree. Who does this guy think he is? Pat freaking Riley with his slick back hair? You haven't earned that haircut, McAdoo. You haven't earned that Pat Riley hairdo. And you know what? It looks stupid with the headset on anyway, you dummy. And you're holding your freaking menu, that diner menu, with 87 million different plays when you call the same 3 the whole fucking time.
I know. I mean, dude, seriously, with that diner menu, give me a steak. I'm done with the cheeseburger.
This guy ain't doing cheeseburgers or steaks. He's throwing freaking salads out there. 2 yards.
He's throwing salads out there.
He's throwing freaking salad. Every play calls a fucking salad. It's like a light fucking salad. He's afraid to go for the fucking red meat, the fucking filet mignon, or the fucking burger out there. That fuck. Let's go, McAdoo.
It really is a salad. It's salad. It might be seasoned tofu. I don't even know. It's just it's terrible, man. We need to show something offensively because it's week 1 and it's already driving me up the wall. Like I'm looking around this room I'm in right now, and I just want to. It's a new house, and I don't want to put holes in the wall, and I'm not going to. But in the back of my mind, I really want to, because what the hell have you been thinking about, and what the hell have you been doing all off season? This was the weakness, and like you said, you made the Dallas Cowboys defense look like the '85 Bears.
Well, it's just like the ridiculous thing is the fact that McAdoo, I could our problem with this team is the freaking offense. McAdoo is an offensive guy. This should not happen.
It shouldn't happen. He comes from a great offensive organization in the Green Bay Packers, and it looks like we don't know what the hell to do.
I know. I mean, this is like you know. Okay, you come out week 1, you score 3 points. This is like maybe, and your defense plays okay. You're thinking, okay, maybe our team mindset is the defense. Actually, no, I think our team mindset is the offense. He's supposed to be the offensive guru. I feel like I'm watching Mike D'Antoni with the Knicks. This guy that's supposed to be an offensive guru that just can't get things going. I mean, I don't know here, man. I don't freaking know. I want to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. We had a good year last year. I mean, I don't think it's because of him. I really don't. But you know what? Like, all right, week 2 is next week. Of course, we got to wait till freaking Monday night to fucking wait for another game. Got to wait another week. Watch every other team play again until our team comes. And you know what? If we lay another egg, we're coming back here, and we're gonna be. I'm gonna be so livid.
I mean, you got to show us something offensively. And we didn't talk about the defense too much because I don't really think we do. The only thing they had trouble with yesterday, was on third downs. Dallas was 8 for 15 on third downs. So that's not a great percentage. But I bring it back to the fact that they were really on the field so much in that first half that they were gassed. And how could you not be gassed when your offense goes out there and just continually goes out there and puts up 3 and outs? As a defensive guy, you're like, you just put your helmet down, you just take a seat on the bench, and then holy shit, a minute goes by and you're back out there. Holy shit.
I know that. I mean, the first drive, we couldn't even get through the freaking player introductions.
I
They
know.
had like one guy left, like that we quickly fourth down. Oh, okay, well, let's get the last couple guys in there, and they squeezed them in there. That is not good. You cannot like that is not good. And then one thing I will say, I'll give the Cowboys some credit here. I mean, they beat us really good. I know but some of the guys I just want to mention Jason Witten. Did you see that stat of
Yeah.
most catch?
Go ahead. Yeah.
The guy,
What was it? 150?
he
50?
150 catches against us or more now because I think he had catches after that. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he beats our ass.
It's you're right, dude, and it's like we say with the Mets too. Certain guys that just kill us, like Chipper Jones and Pat Burrell, always killed us. You know, the Jason Witten is the Chipper Jones of our Mets. You know, of the Giants. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, is he gonna name his son MetLife? I mean, come on. Like loves playing the Giant. Maybe he'll name his son Giant
Yeah,
because
maybe.
I mean he just destroys us.
How funny would that be? Giant Witten.
Well, actually, it would work. If it's something as big as him, but
Giant Witten.
and Dak. I got Dak Prescott. He played well. I don't think he played great. I don't think he played bad. I think he played well. Their offense, they did a lot of the same type of dinks and dunks, but it worked more. And then he did throw the ball downfield a few times through that one play to Dez. He threw the ball down to Terrence Williams, to Cole Beasley. Which, by the way, when I'm facing the Cowboys, the receiver that scares me the most is honestly Cole Beasley. It's not Dez.
Dude, I'm with you. And you said it yesterday. He can't. Well, I think Jay said it yesterday. We just can't stand that guy because he is like a thorn in our side. And he made that ridiculous. I have to give him credit. He made that ridiculous catch yesterday where the ball like wrapped around his neck and he grabbed it with one arm, one hand, and he tiptoed his way into a first down. That was pretty amazing. But the guy pisses us off.
I forgot about that play. That's right. And it's funny. Like that's a play I've never seen before, and that's why we watch these sports. That's why we love these sports. You could see something you've never seen before. I've never seen a play like that in my life.
No. I mean, a lot of luck goes into that, but that's pretty amazing that he kept his composure and just fucking, I don't know, wrapped around his neck and he grabbed it. It was crazy.
And what happened to the good old days when the Cowboys would commit a ton of penalties? How many penalties? I don't know how many they had. It didn't feel like many, though.
Well, they had 5 for 50 yards. We had 6 for 55 yards. So it was about even.
About even. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Our two of our best offensive plays were, Smith's offensive holding calls.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? That's probably for another discussion. But I really want to start ripping the NFL with bringing out these flags way too much. It's getting really annoying. It's making the game fucking watered down, man. I'm telling you. Like, put the damn flags. Well, that pass interference call on Janoris Jenkins was terrible. Come on.
Yeah, that's when I actually left the room and I missed it. I still haven't seen the freaking replay on that play. It was like the one play I missed in the whole damn game.
Well, guess what? Go back, look for it online, and take a look at that because it was. Come on, let the guys. They're gonna hand fight. They're tough guys. Let's go. Let them play.
Yeah, I feel you.
It's not like he grabbed them and pulled them down at all.
No, I feel you. I would love to see them let the guys play a little more, but hey, we're 0-1. This is just a miserable freaking Monday. I hope to be back on here next week with positive things after the Giants play, but we'll see. Only time will tell.
Only time will tell, my man. And, we'll obviously be back, after Monday's game to debrief about us. And let's hope it's positive. We'll be back this week. We're doing some more pods. Possibly tomorrow. We're gonna break down our fantasy weekend. Mine sucked. But we're going to break it down. The 3 hacks will probably be on tomorrow. We're going to discuss that. But I hope you caught our little quick debrief of the Giants-Cowboys game today. We're going to get going. Hope to see you guys soon. Make sure you check us out on YouTube as well as SoundCloud and iTunes. Give us a review. Subscribe to us. Check our channel. Do whatever you got to do, man. It's a good listen if you want to listen on your way to work, on your way home from work. I know I check us out. So,
the gym.
Yep. Check us out, and we'll be back soon, guys. All right. Hope you enjoyed us today.